Oh, hey everyone, I didn't see you there. I was just on eBay selling all of my Chiefs merchandise since their dynasty is over now. After the Eagles have taken the mantle of the best team in the NFL from them after an absolute spanking in Monday Night Football where they came back from a 10-point deficit. But we'll get into that in just a second. We'll also get into talking about Broncos country, let's ride. And are the Lions really the team that we think they're cracked up to be? Find out now on the Fumble Forecast. All right, welcome to the Fumble Forecast, everybody. What's so funny? What'd I do?
To the move that I assume you're gonna edit out, or maybe you'll keep it in. I don't know.
Oh, what, me going like this?
Yeah.
I've literally done that every single time. How have you not noticed?
I don't know. For once, I've looked at your beautiful face.
Oh, fuck you. Not normally looking at these sun getters.
And then the other thing is, Chief.
I think I had a good intro. All right, well, we're gonna edit this out now.
Leave it in. It's good.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll leave it in. We'll include it. But yeah, good content. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Anyway, welcome to the Fumble Forecast. My name's Thomas Kiker, and this is my boy Marcus. We're here to talk about football today, specifically Week 11 recap, and looking forward into Week 12 for the NFL of 2023 season. We're going to start with the game that is rattling around in every single person in the country's mind right now, the one that everyone watched, the one that everyone was excited for, the one that some of us knew would go a certain way that we weren't even slightly worried about at all whatsoever. And then there's the other group of people who were a little worried. But
Vikings Broncos.
Yeah, no, it's the Super Bowl rematch, the Chiefs against the Eagles in the Chiefs Stadium, where the Eagles again won after coming back from a 10-point deficit and spanking them in primetime Monday Night Football in a Super Bowl rematch. I have to admit, the Eagles had one of the weakest first halves I think they've had in their entire season. I don't know if that's because they were just warming up or they couldn't figure something out and get started, or what I think is more likely, Andy Reid had prepped for the game much better than Nick Sirianni did. I think that it's much more likely the case that Andy Reid was just out coaching the shit out of him in the first half of football. I think that Andy Reid is really good at preparing for a game. I think Andy Reid is typically not as good at adjusting his game plan once the game actually starts, which is why you see the Eagles come out and just start laying haymakers down on the Chiefs in the second half. They went into the half, again, down by 10 points, which they came back and won. They beat the shit out of the Chiefs. But I just want to take a second to just throw this out here. So I've been told the entire season that the Eagles are not the best team in the NFL. First, it was, well, you have to beat Miami. You're not a good team if you can't beat Miami. They have the best offense we've seen all season. We beat them. We knocked them right off. Then it was, oh, well, you got to beat the Dallas Cowboys when they come up here to Philadelphia. Dak is 8-3 against the Eagles. There's no way the Eagles can beat the Cowboys. We knocked off the Cowboys too. And then it was, oh, well, once they start playing quality opponents like the Chiefs, there's no chance that the Eagles are going to win. And then they beat the Chiefs as well after a comeback game that we needed to see from Jalen Hurts to show us that he is the game manager that we think that he is, and he did it on a fucked up knee. Just throwing that out there. I'm sick and fucking tired of hearing people say that the Eagles are not the best team in the NFL. They are, and they've proved it over and over again, and I'm tired of hearing oh, well, you just need to beat this person now. Oh, well, you just need to beat this person now. Oh, well, what about this person? I don't care anymore. We've beaten all three of the quality opponents that people have been lining us up against the whole season. The only one that's left is the 49ers, and quite frankly, I'm not scared. I'm not.
A home game against them is not to be frightful over. And the amount of disrespect, like earlier today, I was listening to a bunch of clips and videos, people talking about the Eagles, and
I'm sure they were.
And to be completely fair, this loss is on the Chiefs to a degree. You have MVS having the most dropped passes. Don't roll your eyes. They did fuck up at some critical moments. The fumble that Kelsey lost, where what's his name,
Roby.
Roby, he punched it out, and like, you're one of the best tight ends in football, and you let him just punch it
Yeah.
out with.
Keep in mind, at that point of the game, he did have a really fucked up ankle and was clearly in the pain management unit.
Sure, I mean, I for one, like, you know, your ankles don't stipulate what your hands do, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Well,
But
you say
everything,
no. Keep going. Keep going.
but
Go
everything that
ahead.
I've watched today has all just been, well, the Chiefs fucked this up. Nobody has given the Eagles proper credit except for Shannon Sharp.
Shannon Sharp's a baller.
Shannon Sharp, on a show with Stephen A. and two other people. I don't know their names because I was
It's because half of the other commentators are fucking Cowboys fans, dude.
He pointed out KC's mistakes, but he was also giving the Eagles props, saying that they are a gutsy team, that they can stick in it with the best of them. And then
And they did.
Stephen A goes, well, like, he focuses more back on KC's failures, and I'm just like, why is this team so disrespected?
It's because nobody likes us.
Like, everybody doesn't want to give the Eagles their proper credit.
It's because nobody likes us. They see us as dirty animals.
And you know what? The Eagles weren't like the best last night. They won. They did. Defense stepped up.
And that was it. You can just stop that sentence right there. The defense stepped up, and that was the game.
Are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna tell me that when that Jalen didn't change up the plays a little bit to make them a little bit better?
No, I do think that was good, and the offense did come through in the end. However, I am also going to point out that Jalen Hurts had 12 carries for 29 yards total. That's the same number of carries as their starting running back.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Like, that is not a fair play distribution.
This is very much, maybe you disagree, but I think this is very much like the problem that we've been saying of the coaching, but specifically for the Eagles, I think it's the play calling. It's the offensive coordinator.
It is. He's getting into the groove. Like, he's still learning.
Into the groove, but then at the beginning of the third, with those back-to-back.
Also, Mark, to answer your question that you asked me earlier, I can confirm, based off of what people are saying, it was the OC who did all of the play calling throughout the entire game.
Yeah,
it truly was a tale of war and peace.
Like, I don't know if that fourth quarter was that.
Third quarter was when they popped off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about the 41-yard pass to Devontae that got him into touchdown position.
Oh, into the red zone? That was in the fourth quarter, I believe.
Okay. I don't know if it was Jalen that dialed up that play, but god damn did he.
Sure. Well, hold on. Keep in mind, normally how this works, I know that you're a little bit newer, so you might not understand this. However, keep this in mind. Jalen Hurts when he audibles, he's not just coming up with a new play entirely. That's not what's going on. He's reaching into the plays that are already designed by the head coach and the offensive coordinator and saying, we're going to plug in these. So typically how it works is the offensive coordinator and the head coach will say, here's the list of audibles that you're allowed to choose, like bing, 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 bing. And we want you to pick from those based on the situation that you see on the defense. So he's not just inventing plays as he walks up there. Those are still the OC's plays.
No, I don't think that at all. I'm just saying that maybe the OC called for one play and then on the field.
No, I'm saying I'm giving props. I think that he did a good job. He read the defense really well. That being said, he only threw for 150 yards.
I mean, Holmes also had 177.
I don't give a fuck what Patrick Mahomes did.
Nobody was throwing well that night.
Yeah,
Nobody.
it's because it was pouring rain. I don't care. That didn't stop him last year against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, and they got scared. The OC for the Eagles is scared to like it's so strange because like they'll want to run back to back bubble screen or whatever you called
Bubble screens. It's a bubble screen, yeah.
They'll run back to back bubble screens.
One with Smith and one with Julio Jones.
And then but you don't want to take the chance of throwing it. Like,
well, you have to understand that. So I actually went and watched some film on those two plays. It was kind of genius. I know I ragged on it really hard for calling the exact same play and playing Madden 2 times in a row. However, what they were trying to do is kind of smart. They were really trying their best to throw the defense off and confuse them. I think that the idea was, one, they're not going to expect you to run the same play twice, and two, they lined up in a formation that they normally line up in for a completely different play. So they were expecting the defense they were trying to catch them on their back foot essentially, and play that bubble screen to Julio Jones out of a formation that they normally use for a completely different play. So they were just trying to confuse them and divert the attention, and they rolled the dice pretty much, and it wasn't in their favor really, and it looked very bizarre and stupid.
And it's just like, if you want to try fun stuff, by all means, but like,
don't do it when you're down by 10.
Like the offensive play calling needs to be locked up. Like,
no, I actually think that it was a good job. I think that what you should really take away from this game, or at least what I'm taking away from this game, is that the offensive coordinator, one, isn't a total fucking dumbass, and two, can change and adapt on his feet. You don't often see it where the offensive coordinator is adaptable to the point where he can come back in the second half, jump right back in it, and just slam dunk on the defense that just beat his ass for an entire half. That's not common. You don't normally see that kind of play calling change or style change like you saw in this game. It was very clear that he went into the locker room for the half and said to himself and his players, hey, I totally fucked this up. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a total fucking idiot. We're doing this now. I'm changing the game plan. And you don't see many coordinators who actually change the whole game plan. Like, it was very obvious going into the first half that they wanted a run-focused game plan. Very much it was the focus of the offense in the first half. But in the second half, you start seeing bombs, you start seeing draws, you start seeing bubble screens, you start seeing weird sweeps. He got way more complex with his play calling and play design in the second half than he was in the first half of the game. And that's good, because that level of complexity is what you need to win a Super Bowl. It's just nice to see him finally calling plays that weren't designed in the 1920s.
Fair enough. And you know what? If he pulls that shit in when we host San Francisco and we win, I'll suck his dick.
Don't suck anyone's dick though. And watch out for Neosporin while you're at it.
Yes. Fuck you. It's very hard, as a new football fan, as someone who's coming, as an Eagles fan who is coming off one of their best seasons of all time. It hurts to see.
One of. Oh,
you want to say the best?
Son, they are the best Eagles team ever.
Coming off last season, where they had some 3 and outs, but the offense and the defense, they were both jamming, they were both driving, and here in this season, the defense is here, and the offense is winning games, but they're not. But it doesn't seem to me like they're always driving.
I just don't know why Jalen Hurts, every single time he scores a touchdown, he looks like he's going to cry. The man does not celebrate at all. I love him so much. The man was born with ice in his veins. And you know what? Back to your other comment before about hearing all these people talk about how the Chiefs fucked it up. The Chiefs fucked it. Oh my God, the Chiefs were so awful. They held the Eagles to 21 points.
Yeah.
Like, for real, though. They held the Eagles to 21 points. Their defense showed up to the game. They held A.J. Brown, the #1 receiver in football, if you ask me, to 8 yards and 1 reception. They nullified him. He was knocked out of the game. But to be fair, here is where we get into, I don't think that this was mostly a players matchup where the problems were. I think that both teams actually matched up really well together. However, I do think that this was a coaching game. And I think that Andy Reid and Spagnuolo, they got just out-coached by Nick Sirianni and the team. It was quite a piece of art.
I mean,
because the thing is, he thought they went into this game plan, and the Chiefs clearly had the plan to, okay, Dallas Goedert is out. We don't have to worry about him. We're just going to fuck up A.J. Brown, and the Eagles aren't going to be able to do shit. However, Devonta Smith rose to the occasion and took the heat.
And this is what happens when you only have 2 players on your team. They were triple teaming Kelsey all night long. What happens? What happens? Your wide receivers can't catch.
Yeah, he was knocked out.
And you know what? We have to give it to them on this. Isaiah Pacheco,
a superstar. I don't think anyone has a complaint about him.
He popped off last night against the defense.
Yeah.
And they seriously,
they couldn't stop him for the entire half.
We went into that game being the #1 rushing defense.
Yeah, I believe so.
And he dismantled that.
Yeah, he tore him apart. It was honestly kind of depressing to watch Pacheco just run all over him like that. Like, dude, we were sitting here like, oh God, here we go. It's all over.
I'm not gonna lie.
And then he ripped and tore. And I never lost faith for a single fucking minute.
They got that one stop on him once, but I feel like in the back reptilian part of my brain, if they had just handed it off to him almost every time, they would have won.
Yeah.
At the very least, they could have scored some points in the second.
For the first half, he was doing really well. In the second half, he got 10 yards? In the second half, they kind of shut him down. Do you remember? So at halftime, Mark, do you remember what I said to you? How the Eagles were going to win the game, down by 10 going into the half. Do you remember what my exact words were?
No, of course I do.
Second half adjustments, baby.
I mean, yes. You know what?
It doesn't matter how you start. It matters how you finish.
Yeah,
and they finished hard.
And you got to say this about the Eagles.
Hold up.
At the very
Just keep going.
You got to say this about the Eagles. The second half adjustments have come through, whether they've been super clean or super ugly. I don't know why he's laughing so much. Some joke that
because they finished hard.
Wow. Okay. My co-host a child. But whatever you want to say about them, they make the changes in the second half. They make the adjustments. For better or worse, they make changes.
Yeah, the real story of the Eagles is a story of adaptability. Every single time they are challenged, they rise to the occasion. They win. They defeat their opponent when they're down. When everybody says that they can't beat the Dolphins, they can't beat the Cowboys, and they can't beat the Chiefs, they find a way to win every single game. Not even close, baby. But yeah, no, the thing is, it was really interesting to see how it seems like the Chiefs and the Eagles, the defenses at least, both came into the game with very similar game plans. The Chiefs' plan was to get rid of A.J. Brown and take him out of the picture, and the Eagles' plan was to double Travis Kelce every single play.
No, they
The
weren't
problem
doubling him, they
is
were
that the
tripling him.
Eagles actually have other receivers to throw it to, and the Chiefs have just Travis Kelce, and everyone else literally smears their hands with butter before they start playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't know why they can't catch the fucking ball.
Yeah.
Like, let me make this extraordinarily clear. If the Chiefs receiving corps knew how to catch a football at least as well as a random high schooler in the middle of America, they would have won this game and it wouldn't have been close. But they like to coat their hands with butter and then put the glove on and coat the glove with butter too, just for extra slipperiness. And then they pour baby oil all over their bodies just to make sure they can never catch a ball no matter what. And they actually have the single most drops of any receiving corps in football right now. So I just I think that this is how the Chiefs fall apart. They just don't have any players other than Mahomes and Kelce and Chris Jones.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's the entire team. And when Travis Kelce can't perform, Patrick Mahomes can't perform. And when Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce both can't perform, the entire team falls apart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really interesting to see them come in with very similar game plans. Both teams were playing really hard. But yeah, the Eagles came out on top, and it was a really impressive win. And I swear to fucking Christ, if I hear another person say that the Lions are going to win the NFC conference, I'm gonna pop a blood vessel in my brain and seize out and die.
They're just saying that
They want clicks.
That and like they are the closest to us. So everybody and how everybody hates on us, they're always gonna say, "Oh well, the Lions are nipping at their heels for the number one."
To be fair, people don't like the Lions either.
Yeah, but who do they hate? Who do they?
Well,
hate?
definitely us. They also really hate Chicago.
All right.
I guess somebody was mean to them at some point when they visited Chicago. I have no idea. But I do have to admit, the Lions have a pretty easy schedule lined up in front of them. Pretty easy. I remember last week we ended the week by saying that the Eagles needed to at least win 3 of the next 5. Now I'm just like, oh well, they might actually win just 5 in a row. Yeah, whatever, no problem.
So are we done on the best game football this past week?
Best game and team, at least temporarily. However, I do want to add really quick that I think that the Eagles would do really well to just slot in a little bit of extra linebacker depth. I think that if they could pick up, I know that the Colts just cut a guy. He was an all-pro defender. They waived him. So we could just pick him up and put him in the lineup. I think it might be a good idea to slap another linebacker in there just for the sake of depth. Not that the crew that they have out there right now is doing bad. It just seems to me like they lack the ability to really cycle the guys in and out. So I'm really worried that they're going to be completely exhausted at the end of every game, and that's not a good way to win deep in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have depth. But yeah, we can go on to the next thing. So what do you want to talk about, Mark? What's your big point?
My big point is actually that looking at this bye week, right?
Who's on bye?
No, this past bye week.
Oh, okay, got you.
Looking at this past bye week.
Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins.
Eagles, Chiefs, Dolphins, and some scrubs that nobody cares about.
Who were
they? I think they were the Rams, actually.
Oh. Yeah, they are some pointless scrubs that nobody cares about.
My two teams, they came out, they made statements, and I wish they had made some better statements, but they made statements. So let's go to the Raiders Dolphins.
Ooh, that one was a stinky performance, man.
It absolutely was.
Oh.
It absolutely was.
Oh.
2013 off a bye against the Raiders. Like, yeah, sure, Josh McDaniels is gone, but guys, you got to step it up. And you know what? Tua threw for 325, an average amount of yards for him. Hit Tyreek with 146 yards, his 9th touchdown of the season.
Where's Claypool?
He's in the back. He's in the back.
Is he? Well, no. I mean, is he still suspended?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll look it up really quick.
But where I think things were really interesting for in the Raiders Dolphins was the Dolphins defense with Jalen Ramsey coming back. I think Ramsey was a necessary piece to make the Miami defense work. They let up 13 points with 0 points in the second half. And that could be said that, the Aiden O'Connell, he did throw 2 interceptions. Tua threw 1. But I think that the defense stepped up at really.
From what I can tell, Chase
moments.
Claypool is not suspended anymore. He should be eligible to play. Didn't receive a single pass.
Yeah, So the game at one point, the Raiders are down by 4, right? So they're making a drive. O'Connell's there was a deep middle pass from the shotgun to try to capitalize on the momentum. Interception by Jalen Ramsey that they then turn into a field goal, going up by 7.
Yeah, it's rough.
And
3 interceptions in that fucking game, by the way, by the Raiders quarterback.
Yeah, and then with less than 4 minutes in the fourth, another middle pass, short this time by O'Connell. I forget his first name. Jermaine.
Aiden. It's Aiden O'Connell.
No, not the quarterbacks. The Dolphins player. His last name is Phillips. He undercuts it to intercept it. And then
Phillips.
And then they do nothing with that.
Are you sure it's not Peters?
Pretty sure it was Phillips.
The only interception you're talking about a Raiders interception?
No, a Dolphins interception.
Oh, a Dolphins interception. I thought you were talking about the Jalen Ramsey interception.
I was.
Jalen Phillips.
Like he undercuts the route, catches the ball, and Miami comes out for 5 plays and they have to punt it back. So the Raiders are still in TD to at least tie the game. And then
Speaking, by the way, of Jalen Phillips, just to jump in really quick, very promising young man. He's only 24 and he's kind of making a splash. No pun intended. Dolphins.
I see what you did there. Anyway, so with a needed touchdown to at least tie the game, they're driving down the field 9 plays in. O'Connell fires deep from the 46-yard line for a touchdown. I forget who he was throwing it to. And then in comes Jalen Ramsey like a fucking hero, leaping to intercept the ball. And it erases all hope for the Raiders. And he goes down on his knee and is possibly out for this next game with a knee injury. And so
it happens.
And so all of this is to say, next week you play the Jets.
You gotta win that game, dude.
You have to win that game. I think you will. I think that Mike McDaniels, I think he might be able to pull himself up.
I'm picking the Jets to win that game.
Shut your whore mouth.
Also, by the way, Mark, You remember? So we were watching the Eagles game, right? And you remember it said that the Black Friday game was at 1:30 on the screen.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
I am very clearly looking at it right now on Google. It says 3 p.m.
I don't know.
What time is this fucking football game?
It's like just
And also, are the Thursday games on Amazon? What's going on with Thanksgiving here?
That's a good point. No, they can't. They can't be on Amazon.
They can't be.
No, those have to be on
Probably CBS, NBC, and Fox.
Yeah,
I think the Cowboys game is on Fox.
There's no way that they would let Amazon have all 3 games.
No, Cowboys is CBS. Lions Packers is Fox.
Then San Francisco.
And 49ers is NBC. So I was right. It's CBS, NBC, and Fox.
Understandable. You got to win this next one against the Jets.
Yeah, they have to win. This is a no exceptions win.
If you
gotta win that game.
If you don't...
Oh, also, the Black Friday game is available on Amazon.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they scooched them over. I guess it was part of the deal.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. It's one
Yeah, that's
game.
fine. But yeah, no, this is a must-win game for the Dolphins. I think you're absolutely right. The Dolphins very recently, because of the Bills' general incompetence and lack of ability to play football, the Dolphins have a chance here to be up by 2 in the 2 wins in their division. They just have to beat the motherfucking Jets. They just have to do it. I consider this a must-win game for the Dolphins, because not only does it solidify their control over the division, but it would help to solidify their entire role in the conference, because they are only 1 game behind in the whole conference, and that's only because the Ravens haven't had their bye week yet. I think that this is a statement game for the Dolphins.
Actually, looking at it, all the leaders of each AFC,
they all have 7-3, except for the Ravens.
No, you gotta win this one.
This is a must-win game. Even if you remove the conference to the side, the Dolphins have to win this game just because they need to have that 2 game up on the Bills. Just look at the games that are being played in the next couple of weeks. You have the Dolphins against the Jets. You gotta beat your divisional opponent, Dolphins. Please, for the love of fucking God, beat your divisional opponent. And then they have the Commanders. These are 2 easy wins for the Dolphins if they can just play the game. However, I think the Jets are actually going to run the Dolphins a little bit of trouble here. I think that the Jets, the strength of the Jets is their defense. They're a really good team on defense, and quite frankly, the Dolphins, when they are faced with adversity on the defensive perspective, flop. They just fail miserably whenever they face a defense of any caliber at all. They fucked up against the Eagles. They fucked up against the Bills. They fucked up against the Chiefs. And they almost fucked up against the Raiders. And the Raiders don't even have that good of a defense. They're okay. Very middle of the pack. So I'm kind of concerned going into this game against the Jets, which have what I would consider a top 5 defense in all of the NFL. Mm-hmm. I think Sauce Gardner is going to run amok in that game. I am expecting an absolute minimum of 2 interceptions by Tua. And I think that's pretty fair. But the reason that I say they have to win these next 2 in specific is because let's look at the Bills matchups over the next 2 weeks. The Bills play against the Eagles. They're probably going to lose to the Eagles, not to toot our horn again. And then they play against the Chiefs in Arrowhead. They're probably going to lose that because the Bills aren't very good. So the Bills might lose their next 2. If the Dolphins can at least split the next 2 or win the next two, and they're easy games for the Dolphins. They can easily win these games. They're equipped for it. They can do it. They're like 4 games up on the Bills potentially.
Yeah.
Let's say, yeah, 2. Yeah, they would be 3 games up on the Bills if things go how I expect them to. That would be fucking phenomenal for the Dolphins. The Dolphins would be screaming.
Yeah.
Back to the Orange Bowl, boys. But
Bring it.
yeah, I think they not only do I have the confidence that they are gearing up for this and they're ready for this, I think the Dolphins will actually do it. And here's the thing: look at the next 3 games for the Dolphins. They have the Jets, then they have the Communists, and then they have the Titans. If they can win 2 out of 3, and the Bills lose their next 2 out of 3, the Dolphins are looking pretty fucking good. And then if you just look at the Ravens, for example, the Ravens have a pretty easy schedule moving forward until they ram into the 49ers. However, if you didn't notice, in the week 16 of the season, the Dolphins play the Ravens. So the Dolphins are in charge of their own destiny at this point. If they win, they win big. If they lose, they fuck it. But yeah, I actually think that the Chiefs are about to go on a pretty steep losing streak here. I actually think that the Chiefs lose to the Raiders.
I would love to see it.
It's a big rivalry, but I think the Raiders are going to fight hard in that game. And then, I mean, dude, in the Chiefs division, the Broncos are nipping at their heels. They're not going down without a fight.
Country, let's ride.
I actually literally wrote down in my notes, Broncos country, let's ride.
Me too. Me too.
Unfortunately for the Broncos, they have a hard schedule for the next few weeks. Browns, Texans, Chargers, Lions.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Gonna be easy.
That's rough.
But I mean, hey, if anybody can do it, it's the team on a 4-week win streak with a negative 51-point differential.
Yeah, let's look at the Jaguars. Now that we're talking about divisional stuff, let's look at the Jags. They got the Texans coming into this week, which the Texans can literally take the division from them if they win this game. Then they got the Bengals, Browns, Ravens, Bucks, Panthers, Titans. So they don't have another easy game until the last 2 weeks of the season. The Jaguars, I just don't believe in them at all. What about you? Like, do you think that the Jaguars are actually a good team?
No, I think they've been lucky.
I don't even think they've been lucky. Like, I just don't know how to put it. I have no faith in the Jaguars at all. I think they're like totally overrated.
I think they've been lucky. I think that they've had some wins that they didn't deserve and some losses that they didn't deserve.
Yeah.
But I would much rather see them go down to the Texans and have an actual interesting AFC, because whoever gets to if the Jags go to the playoffs leading,
they lose in the first round. I think
they lose to the first round, and I think if Texans are in there with a rookie quarterback, maybe they lose, but at the very least it'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to be interesting with the Jags. Whoever gets them, that could be essentially a glorified bye week.
Yeah. And another thing to speak to the Texans maybe winning this is that the Texans already beat them at their own stadium earlier in the season, 37-17. Mm-hmm. They fucking clubbed them. And the Jaguars just keep losing to good teams, like left and right.
Yeah. I think what we're what we're gonna see for the rest of the season is just more and more that the top teams of last season, except for the Eagles, of course, they're all weakening, and things are gonna start shifting.
See, that's the thing. That's not normal. You don't normally see teams just completely collapse like this. It's weird.
I didn't say that it was normal. I'm saying that's what we're gonna see.
No, no, no. I get you. I'm saying that it's just weird. And listen, if after the first like 5 weeks of the season, I had told you that the Colts would currently sit at 5-5 and realistically still have playoff potential, you would have smacked me in the mouth.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, dude, the Colts are bad. Why are they 5-5? What is happening? And you know what? We've talked about the AFC quite a bit. Now it's time to jump into the NFC, unless you had something else to say. Do you have something else to say about the AFC?
No, we can move to the NFC.
Okay, so I'm going to start by specifically pinpointing my next point that I wanted to talk about. Are the Lions a real contender? I'm going to say no. I don't actually think that the Lions are a real contender.
What do you mean? What do you mean by a real contender?
Super Bowl potential.
Yeah, nah.
I don't think they have it. I think that they have two really major problems on their team. One is that they just lose control of games so fast, so quickly. Like, just for example, you can look at just this week against a bum-ass Bears team. Their ass. Like, let's call a spade here. The Bears fucking suck. They're 3-8. And the Bears almost won. The Detroit Lions came back from a massive deficit, which is impressive, and they won. But Jared Goff threw 3 fucking interceptions in this game. Like, it was a total clown show for the Detroit Lions.
It wasn't a massive deficit, to be fair.
Yeah, it was a huge deficit. They overcame it.
No, they didn't. They were at one point they were down by 3, and then at one point they were up by 4, to go down by 6, to be down by 9.
Okay, so they're down by 9. That's 2 possessions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did nothing. Never mind. Oh, wait, no. 26. Be down by 12. Okay, fine. It was a lot larger than I thought it was.
It was a pretty fat deficit that they came back from. Like, I was watching that game, and in the third quarter, I was like, yeah, this game's fucking over. I'm not even going to watch the rest of it. And then they came back 17 points in the fourth quarter and won the game. I have to say, though, 2 things. They lose control of games really fast. In that game, they had a huge deficit against the Bears. They did manage to come back. Totally great. But another perfect example of the Lions just losing control of a game is the Ravens game. That game ended 38-6. They just lose control.
Yeah.
Like, when the Lions lose, they lose. Like, even going back to the Seahawks game all the way at the very beginning of the season, you just see them get absolutely trampled in that game by the Seahawks almost the entire game. They get spanked almost the whole game. And then it goes into overtime, and the Seahawks take it from them. But the Ravens game and the Bears game in this past week are the perfect examples I see of them just letting games slip right through their fingers. The Lions got spanked by the Baltimore Ravens, who are arguably the best team in the AFC. So, okay, fine. But don't tell me that you're the best team in the NFC and then get spanked by the Bears for 3 quarters. Don't tell me. You can't convince me. But their second problem that I think they have is that their D-line is just nowhere near as punchy as I thought they were. I've noticed that their whole game plan rests and dies with their D line. If their D line gets a huge amount of sacks, if their D line gets a huge amount of pressures, if their D line stops running backs, stops anything from happening, they win. No, like hands down, they just crush their opponent. But the problem is their D line's really inconsistent, and I thought that they would really deliver like a hardcore punch every single game, and they just don't. It seems like they kind of play soft sometimes, and I don't get it. And I'm curious who the hell is dialing up their defense and coaching them to behave that way, because this is something that I've seen from tons of teams. It seems to me like they are playing down to their opponent's level. Like they're preparing for their opponent. They're saying, this is what our opponent does. This is how we're going to handle that. Instead of just saying, okay, here's the game plan. We're going to go out there and just absolutely snuff their life out. Which is what I think they should do and can do, but for some reason aren't. It's very bizarre to me. By the way, David Montgomery, huge impact in that game. A+ on in a game against your old team. Congratulations, you won. However, and this is something that it pains me extremely badly to admit, okay? Justin Fields is a real quarterback. I am open to the criticism now. I was wrong.
Let it fall on me like snow on a hot desert.
Yeah, exactly. I was wrong. Justin Fields is a good quarterback. His stats do not reflect this, but go watch that poor boy play. His receivers could not... dude, his receivers couldn't empty piss out of a boot. They are awful. Dude, holy shit, man. They just drop every fucking pass that comes anywhere near them. It's just bizarre. Like, even in this Lions game, near the very, very end of the game, I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was a diving play for them to save the game, continue their drive, and win the football game. The man dove. The ball perfectly lands right in his palms, like a baby that he is gently caressing, like this, on the play. Uh-oh. And then he just drops it. It was pathetic. It was disgusting. I don't know what's wrong with receivers this season, man. I don't know if there was some rule change that we aren't aware of, or maybe PED testing has gotten more strict. I don't know. No, but I'll tell you what, the receivers this season fucking blow.
You're either Tyreek Hill or you're A.J. Brown. There's no question.
Well, those are the top two.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying you're either them or you're
a total bum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you. I mean, well, and let's throw CeeDee Lamb and Deebo Samuel in there too. They're also performing at a very high level. And
sure, but we don't give credit to enemies, Tom.
All right. You give credit where you need to, okay, punk? But for real, so here's actually something that I know I'm jumping back to the Ravens now. Maybe I like the Ravens, I don't know. But something that I like about the Ravens is that their receivers actually catch the ball. Like, Lamar spreads it around, and they all average like 40 yards a game. Like, they are all actually catching the football and doing their job. I think the Ravens kind of have like an X factor. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Ravens, so...
Actually, I'm kind of glad that you went back to the Ravens, because there was a point I wanted to make.
Oh, go for it.
I think I'm wondering how confident Cincinnati is right now. You just lost.
Dude, they're fucked.
You just lost to Baltimore, and you've just lost Joe Burrow.
They're boned, dude.
They had I've been reading.
The Bengals are fucked.
I've been reading things like, oh, we have a lot of confidence in and Jake
Oh, they
Brown.
have to say that shit.
I know, but I'm wondering, like, could he do it? Is there a universe where he could do it? He's apparently he's been coached by Burrow, works well with the coaching staff. I don't think he will, because I can't read this kind of stuff yet. But I'm wondering, like, do you have that dog in you to keep yourselves in the most competitive division this season? I see your face, and
Dude, they're fucked.
I really would like to see if they can keep that fiery spirit in them.
Listen, homie, I'd
It
love
won't
to see the Bengals win something.
it
They
won't
ain't.
happen. I know it won't happen, but, like, come on,
It's not happening. Just accept
I,
this.
I'm
It's
giving
not happening.
I'm reaching out to you, Cincinnati.
No, you're done. No, it ain't happening. Though, to be fair, he might be able to win enough games for Joe Burrow to come back and then clinch a playoff spot.
I think Burrow's out for the season.
No, they're talking about a playoff return for him.
Now, well, he better clinch that playoff.
Well, to be completely fair, they could get a wild card spot. I swear to Christ, man, if the Broncos get into the playoffs, I'm throwing in the towel.
Nah, let's go Broncos country. That's true.
Jeez, I've had enough of fucking Russell Wilson and Broncos country. Let's ride. I saw a fucking video of that, man, where they... Never mind. That's just so stupid, I'm not even going to bring it up. I'll tell you later. But yeah, anyway, back to my actual point. I was wrong. Justin Fields is an actual quarterback. His wide receivers fucking blow dick. I think that the Bears this offseason, they need to stop focusing on their goddamn defense that is fucking worthless and get some weapons for Justin Fields. Justin Fields, in this game against the Lions, Mark, the man ran for 104 yards and threw for 169.
Yeah, he's playing.
Keep in mind, they only gave him 23 passes to throw, and he got 16 of them. They then had him carry for 18 carries in this game. He was by far the number one running back for the Chicago Bears. It's not even a comparison. And I am tired of hearing DJ Moore talk about being a number one receiver. Sorry, bub, you ain't.
All right. I have just two really quick notes on the NFC.
Go for it.
Green Bay with something that I've yet to see in this season, a 0-point differential.
What do you mean?
They have scored.
They've scored just as many as they've given up.
Yep. I think that's just interesting.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Exactly. And then
except for their record. Womp wah.
And then like, I just gotta ask. Giants. How can you be one of the worst teams in the league?
With the pizza paisano throwing the ball.
But yet you come out and you basically do to Washington what the Cowboys did to you. Like, was it Daniel Jones holding y'all back? Because if this continues, that they actually perform, how, like, you get rid of Daniel Jones immediately if Paisanos, if the fucking Italian stereotype, the man who on touchdowns does that same motion.
He still lives with his mom, and his mom does his laundry.
It's still living. God, man. Still
He's
living with
a
his parents.
professional quarterback.
What? Like,
Oh God, dude! This season we've had some weird shit with quarterbacks. Will Levis drinking the mayonnaise in his coffee. Pizza Paisano still living with his mom and not doing his laundry. Like, dude, we've had some weird ass shit with quarterbacks this season.
yeah, no,
Oh, and let's not forget Zach Wilson being turned on by the Kelsey mom.
excuse me.
That's still the meme, right? Every single time he wins, I see it pop up all over the place. Like, oh, Donna Kelsey texted him before the game started, so he turned it up.
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen any of these?
No,
Oh my God! It started when they played the Chiefs, and he lit them up.
I see.
The meme was he saw her in the audience, and he just ooh.
I see. All right. That's about all my points. Do you have anything else
Well,
you want to say?
hold on. I got some more Buckaroonski.
Okay.
Now that we're talking about Zach Wilson,
Yeah.
allow me to take the floor here and announce that I've made a grave error last week in my defense of Zach Wilson. He's looking pretty irredeemable. This was a awful performance. However, they didn't really give him a chance in this game. I'm not gonna lie to you. They subbed him out for Tim Boyle like halfway through the game, and Tim Boyle fucked it. So I don't want to hear it. I think that Zach Wilson is the product of a dog shit level coaching staff. But this is the curse of the New York Jets, dude. They had Joe Namath, and then they've never had a good quarterback since. Ever. It's been like 70 years of quarterback drought for the New York Jets. 60 years. But I think that man, just trade Zach Wilson, please, so he can have a chance on another team. Just get rid of him. I don't know who will take him, but somebody who has to want him. Just let him go like a bird. You're as free as a bird now. Just let him go. But anyway, let's talk about the playoff picture here. Well, not the playoff picture, but who do we think's going to win each division? Okay?
I thought we wanted to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of juggling it around in my head, but I think it's pretty solid up at this point who I think is going to win each division. We can wait until next week if you want. We can bait the hook.
I think we do. Let's bait.
All right, let's bait the hook. You guys are officially baited with a carrot.
The reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking at the schedule. More than
this upcoming week is going to be a big deal for the AFC.
Well, it's not just that. Over half of these games this week are all divisional games.
Yep.
So I think we should probably wait until next week before we really.
Okay. Well, one more thing that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Nice.
49ers and Seahawks. Who's going to win?
I think it's going to be the 49ers, and it burns me to say it.
I think it's going to be a really fucking good football game, is what I think, first of all. Second of all, I think that the Steelers actually have all of the matchups in their favor.
The Steelers?
Or, sorry, Seahawks, not Steelers.
I was about to say, I mean, with Matt Canada gone.
Well, with Matt Canada gone, anything... Dude, we forgot to talk about that. We'll jump back to that in just a second. But, yeah, I think that all of the matchups are in the Seattle Seahawks' favor going into this week. I think DK Metcalf is going to have a huge game. I think Walker III is going to have a huge game. I think they're going to kill it.
I hope.
I really do.
I hope that they do.
I mean, the 49ers, they have a season-ending injury for one of their most important and critical defenders, toe fungus. And I think that it's really going to bite them in the ass, honestly. I think they're just going to hit him in their soft underbelly because he's missing. I think it's going to be a wrap. So yeah, that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like the Seahawks might take it from them here and use that momentum to take the division.
I
Dude,
really
wouldn't that
hope
be
they do.
something if the Cowboys just barely outperform the 49ers, the Vikings outperform the 49ers, and then some other random team outperforms the 49ers, and then they don't make the playoffs?
No. Oh god,
Well,
if
the
they don't.
49ers are about to lose 3 in a row, so
No, they're not.
there they
49ers on
are.
a 49ers are on a 2-week win.
Huh? I said they're about to lose 3 in a row. Seahawks, Eagles, Seahawks.
Oh. Sorry.
I wasn't talking about them being on a streak, you silly goose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels
I
good to be king. It's hard to be a god.
Seahawks, please.
Seahawks country, let's ride.
So now Matt Canada.
Yes, Matt Canada fired. Finally. I hated that motherfucker. He was a total clown.
Pittsburgh having parades in his honor.
Yeah, for real. Let's get rid of just to have your Super Bowl parade now. He's gone. That is more important than winning a Super Bowl, is having that guy not as your OC anymore. Dude, I guarantee you though, they come out in this next week and throw up a total goose egg. I almost am willing to guarantee it. So legitimately speaking, you asked me the question earlier, can the Bengals pull it off over the next few weeks or are they fucked? I mean, they might pull it off. They have to play the Steelers, which is potentially a W for them. I'm going to give the edge to the Bengals in that one. So 1 W. Jags, they're probably going to L on that one. Then they play the Colts. That's probably a W. So that's 2 out of the next 3. They play the Vikings. I think the Vikings will win that one. And then they have to play the Steelers again. I think that's 3 wins out of the next 5. I think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But I do not think that the Bengals are going to win the division. I think that the Ravens kind of have that division on lock, I think.
Mm-hmm. No,
But yeah, I think
barring some catastrophic disaster, they probably got it locked up.
yeah. So let's do your power rankings, Marky.
Power rankings. Okay.
Yeah. You want to go first or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think mine will have changed very much.
Oh,
Give my top 5. My top 5: Eagles, Ravens, and then probably slot in I don't know, Cleveland at number 3, Dolphins at number 4, and
and who at number 5?
I'm trying to think, and then probably Dallas at number 5.
I think it goes Eagles, Ravens, Dolphins, 49ers, Cowboys.
I mean, I like that you have Dolphins at number 3.
I think that the Dolphins are going to scooch in with a division win. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I really think that the Dolphins have a good team and a good scheme. But I think the Ravens are going to win that AFC championship, so.
Fins up.
I mean, the Texans might sneak in there and take it from everyone by storm. You never know.
God,
Texans Eagles Super Bowl.
could you imagine how good it would feel to be
A
CJ
Texans
Stroud?
fan? Oh, well, yeah, that too.
It's like you're a rookie quarterback. You're the best rookie quarterback this season.
This
By
season,
far.
he might be the best rookie quarterback ever.
You know more history than I do. And then not only do you get into the playoffs, but then you get to go to the
God.
Super Bowl on your rookie season.
Yeah, but let's be real here. We're talking fairy tales at this point. That ain't happening.
Sure, but oh, what a fairy tale it'll be.
Yeah,
So
it'd be great. So the Eagles are going to script write that, or the NFL is going to script write that one in there.
So unless there's anything else to talk about,
No, I think I'm all good.
Games of the week.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Tell. Go ahead.
All right. 49ers Seahawks is a clear game to watch to me. I think that's going to be a very, very close matchup. I also think the Dolphins and Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my two games that I would be watching. But then again, the Steelers Bengals is going to be really good too, and the Jaguars Texans. I can't pick every game of the week, can I?
You can't because there's some shitty games on here. Patriots.
Yeah,
Giants,
I think
Panthers,
the
Titans.
Commanders and Cowboys is pretty stinky.
That's one of the games I'm picking to watch because if the commies, despite being 0-4, which I completely forgot because of how shit the Giants are against other teams. Apparently they're godlike here in the division. If the Commanders can hand the Cowboys a loss, that clinches our division. So like watching
Nope.
that. What?
No, it doesn't clinch our division for us.
What do you mean?
They're still in it. We could potentially lose every game.
We're not gonna lose to the Giants.
I'm just saying we could. Like, it doesn't clinch it.
Yeah, it makes it better for us.
Oh yeah, it does. And also on top of that, I just like watching Dallas lose.
Yeah.
But they're not going to. The Cowboys are going to run them through the fucking ground.
Yeah, I know. But my picks are honestly the Cowboys game, Lions, Seahawks, Bengals, Dolphins, Texans, Broncos.
Like I told you, can you pick every game?
Like, to be honest,
there's a lot of good football games this week.
To be honest, I think it would be easier to say which games to skip.
Yeah, I agree. Buccaneers, Colts, skip it. Giants, Patriots, Panthers, Titans, skip it. Falcons, Saints, Rams, Cardinals.
And then Ravens, Chargers only because it's probably gonna. I think it's just. I don't think
it's just not a good game. I think the Ravens are gonna stomp them. So yeah, I agree with you. God, that's the night game too. What the fuck? Why do I have to be subjected to this? Ugh, puke. That's actually dog vomit. Why are all the primetime games shit? Oh, God. I'm just saying, one thing that I really hate about the Eagles being good is that they don't have any 1 o'clock games. Please, please give me my 1 o'clock games back. It's all that I want. I just really, really hate it. I could deal with some afternoon and some night games randomly in there, but don't make me play primetime every single dime. That's just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're used to the spotlight for the Super Bowl when they show up, so. God damn. It's seriously 3 games in the entire season at 1 o'clock. 3. 3 of them.
When you bear greatness upon your shoulders.
It always bears greatly upon my shoulders, Mark. Always.
Alrighty then.
Well, hold on. I'm trying to figure out when is the next Eagles Commanders. Or wait,
We already played them.
no, I'm trying to figure out when the next 1 o'clock game is.
Oh. Never.
No, we have another one, don't we?
So. Maybe we do.
Yeah, we do, against the Cardinals on December 31st.
Oh boy, wonderful.
Yeah, it's going to be a great New Year's game. We have the Christmas game again this year, by the way.
Yeah. And I'm gonna miss both Giants games.
You're not going to miss much. And what do you mean miss? You're going to get to watch them right here.
I mean, I'll be watching at home.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can put it up there for you.
No,
But
I mean, like, we'll be watching it on TV, me and my dad.
Oh, will it be available?
I'm pretty sure it would be.
Yeah,
on-
whatever.
If it's on Fox.
That don't mean shit.
It'd be real bullshit if we don't.
Yeah, I feel you. But anyway, thanks for joining us for the Fumble Forecast Week 11, 2023. I always appreciate it when you guys leave comments and stuff like that. Hit that subscribe button. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts. And yeah, tune in next week and we'll have some fun stuff planned. Next week is going to be us going down the playoff picture. So, and like giving our playoff predictions, seeing where things fall. And that's going to be that. I'm actually going to take the time to make an actual playoff bracket. So,
Yeah. Okay.
yes, of what I predict will happen.
All right.
All right. So, have a nice night, guys. We love yous, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.